This is absolutely fascinating. We sit, we watch, we wait. We sit, we watch, we wait. Kawhi Leonard is still undecided. Apparently, he's met with both the Clippers and the Lakers. Some have reported that the Lakers lead. I don't know exactly what that means. I can only tell you in recruiting, no matter what anyone says, until you sign on the line that is dotted, no deal is done. Anytime you're in negotiation and somebody says last and final, it's not really the last and final. Till the paperwork is signed, I'm not taking anybody's word for it. And so Kawhi is left with three very different choices. Three different choices. It's really hard to do the pro and con thing when there's three choices as opposed to two. There's Toronto, where you know what the upside is. The downside is, well, it's kind of only one place to go, which is down, right? Now you're going to have massive expectations. You are still in a foreign country, and while they'll still love you in Canada, it will never feel as good as it did the first time. Just won't. And with all the things that have gone right, and all the things that went right for them last year, stands to reason in the future things can go wrong. I don't know if Philadelphia is better. I don't know if Boston's better. I do think that the Nets are better and will only get better. Miami appears to be a playoff team now. Like, you look around and everyone's going to, and they're still the Milwaukee Bucks. And you would think that Giannis is going to get better. Sure is not going to get worse. So all of those things, you know what you have in Toronto. And if you can stand the fact that it's going to be at best this good and maybe slightly as good and cold in the future, you're fine. The Lakers are probably the most unknown because you'd be joining two other superstars, one other massive ego, a coach you haven't played for, a style which is undetermined. The upside is a title. The downside could be twofold. One, it could be underachieving. Or two, it could be achieving and not actually enjoying it because, well, you don't get to be the guy who gets to take the shot. Now, I'm sure LeBron James has told him or his people or whatever, hey, man, I've never been about taking the big shot. I've always been about my teammates. I realize where I am in my career and that, kind of like Magic, he had Big Game James, he had Jabbar, he had Byron Scott, he had other guys who could make plays, and they all continue to reap the benefits of those longtime Laker great teams. And then you have the Clippers, who have essentially done everything right? Championship caliber coach, plenty of cap space, underpaid players like a Lou Williams, right? All of these things bode well for the Clippers. And in terms of kind of understated grittiness, they have it. It fits the persona of a guy from the Inland Empire who went to San Diego State, who went to the Spurs, who went to Toronto, and has just gotten better and better and better and done more and more work. But it's still just the Clippers. Like the Brooklyn Nets, the seventh most popular team in the tri-state area, the Clippers are the third tenant in the building which they play. It's just the reality of it. And no matter how good Kawhi is or how good the Clippers are, the Clippers have been better than the Lakers for the last half decade. It's still a Laker town. So I think there are three really, really interesting possibilities and choices. But I'm sitting here lost knowing what Kawhi is going to do. But I do think that Kawhi's process is the best of the processes. So oftentimes we reward people who make a quick knee-jerk decision. So oftentimes we think the one who makes the early decision is the one who sets the trend. But the fact is that Kawhi Leonard is taking his time. He understands how big this is. He understands how impactful he is and how impactful it is to his own career. All of these things are interesting, and we sit and we wait. And then there's the very selfish factor. You know what next week is, right? Next week is the dead week in sports. It's the Major League Baseball All-Star Game. You know, the day after the Baseball All-Star Game is when nothing really happens. That's why they created the ESPY Awards. And so most people who cover sports want to get the hell out of town. That's really what it is. So their insistence of, hey, Kawhi, get it done. We need to start. Some of it is of the selfish nature because they just want to get on their vacation. And they got to file their story. And they got to know what the Lakers, Clippers, and Toronto Raptors look like so they can kind of set and forecast, discuss it, dissect it, and then get on the first thing, smoke into somewhere warm, somewhere with a Mai Tai. People ask me everywhere I go, where's he going? I got no idea. I think he's the best player in the NBA. I think there are 3 unique choices. All of them are good. The best fit is probably the Clippers because it's in LA and because they fit his persona, but it has the least amount of resonance in terms of off-the-court stuff, popularity within the city, feeling of being important. Like all of these things make it interesting. But we sit and we wait for Kawhi Leonard. Doug Gottlieb Show rolls on here on Fox Sports Radio. And then you have the continued reaction to what does everybody else do? Ben Simmons gets a max contract extension. And I've heard people say, I can't believe you're going to pay $160 million to a guy that can't shoot. Like, Ben Simmons has only played in the NBA for 2 years. He's been under contract for 3. He was a rookie of the year, even though he wasn't really honestly a rookie. He's a double-double, close to triple-double machine. And no, he's not a good shooter. He doesn't shoot the basketball. Like, it's actually almost not determinable how good a shooter he is because he won't shoot. But the fact is that he's young, he's getting better, he's versatile, and he got a chance, if he can learn to make a jump shot, which others have learned, to be one of the 5 most impactful players in the NBA. And, oh, yeah, by the way, while there are some that would say, like, wow, you know, why are you signing this? What do you suppose you do? You're going to trade him, are you? No, you pay him, and then if you decide, well, you don't like the way it's going, well, then you can trade. You can trade big contracts, especially say the supermax that he will probably earn by the time he gets to his next contract. That will be more prohibitively difficult to trade. But this one's not. We sit and we wait on Kawhi Leonard, and we see the league kind of taking shape. And while people think they know what Toronto is, it's important to point out that's the highest of highs that it will ever be. While people realize that there will be 3 different superstars with the Lakers, I would point out I'm not sure how it all fits. And while the Clippers seem to fit the best with persona and with style, still the Clippers. Hi, I'm Doug Gottlieb from Fox Sports Radio, and you need to subscribe to the Fox Sports Radio YouTube channel where you can hear and see me. Why not? Plus, everybody else who's awesome here on Fox Sports Radio.